Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this eighth Sunday in Ordinary Time, and it's the last Sunday before we start Lent next Wednesday. So we've got the Gospel of Luke, and it says, Jesus told his disciples a parable. Can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No disciple is superior to the teacher, but when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but you do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, Brother, let me remove that splinter from your eye, when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite, remove the wooden beam from your eye first. Then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. A good tree does not bear rotten fruit, nor does a rotten tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes, nor do they gather grapes from brambles. A good person, out of the store of goodness in his heart, produces good. But an evil person, out of the store of evil, produces evil. For from the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. The Gospel of the Lord. There's a phrase that Jesus introduces there, from the store of goodness and the fullness of the heart. And I think those are rich concepts. And they refer to the relationship, the deep relationship that we have with God, that we've cultivated. And to the extent that we have a deep and profound life of grace, and we persevere in that life of grace, and we pray, and we're trying to please God, and we're receiving the sacraments, and we're feeding ourselves on the Eucharist. We're building up a deep and rich spiritual life, even if we're not the kind of people that talk about it a lot or know a lot of theology and can express, our spiritual thoughts very easily. We have that big reservoir, and it goes deeper and deeper. And we store more and more spiritual merit and value. And you become more profound with it, Even very, very simple people who aren't that educated can have this, right? It's not a question so much of book knowledge, but of a deep relationship with God. And those people kind of work in a habitual way and do good, right? And do acts of charity, and they're generous, and they're loving, and they're helpful, and gentle, and kind, and all of it almost seems to flow, right? Almost naturally. And we're tempted to think that some people are just naturally good, and other people are naturally bad, but I think it's deeper than that. I think it's this richness that has accumulated in a spiritual life when we take God seriously and we really make him the center of our life. And that's where the good tree will bear good fruit, right? And not bear any bad fruit. Those people will always bear fruit. And that's the kind of people that we should seek to be. But it's a question of going deeper and deeper with God. It's a question of really valuing the sacraments that we have. It's a question of taking that time for prayer so that that contact with God is frequent and profound. And then it becomes easier and easier to be virtuous and good, react in the best way in every circumstance. How about you? Maybe that's a plan for this Lent for you, to start to become that kind of person who's kind of deep and rich in the goodness of his heart. And maybe that'll start to flow out.